Hello and good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. My name is Victoria Nkatha, and we're back yet with another episode of African Women in Europe Talks with Victoria Nkatha. And today we are joined with a brilliant guest who I am about to introduce in a few. But wherever you are watching from, whether YouTube, whether Facebook pages, whether the Facebook profile, I want to bid you welcome and do engage us in the comments. Let us share, let us talk, and let us discuss on all important matters, and specifically the discussion tonight. So please let us know where you're watching from. Talk to us and let us hear you out. Now, without further ado, I would love to welcome the amazing, the brilliant Susan Mutai, who's our guest for today. She is an amazing woman, and I cannot do justice to how amazing she is. But let her come up and talk to us and introduce herself. Hello, Susan.
Hello, Victoria.
How are you today?
I'm doing very fine, thank you.
Now tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and where are you from, and everything about you basically to get the conversation started.
Okay, thank you, Victoria. My name is Susan Mutai. As you heard, I come from Kenya. I am a Meru by tribe, but I live in Denmark. I am a director in White Valley Grace Hospital. I work here in Denmark as well. And the White Valley Grace Hospital is located in Africa. And it's a hospital that is actually focusing on bringing the European standards of hospital to Africa to improve the standards of living, health in for Africans. And I am a mother of three, and more to that, I work as a marriage counselor, and I love doing that. It's my best field. And if you have any marriage issues, please don't hesitate to contact me.
Thank you. And she does a lot of things. Now, she is very well in her industries. And also, the other aspects that she forgot to mention was also Development and Mercy Foundation, which is also partially a beautiful thing that also supports women, orphans, and widows as well. Now, that is something that is very amazing. And I would love to dig also deep into her faith aspect as well, because she also is a woman of great faith and a minister for that matter. So she has a lot of hats on her head. And she said a mother of three. But you don't even look like you're a mother of three. Can you tell us the secret, please?
Wow. Yes, Victoria, I am a pastor. I pastor in a church here. I am a good preacher. If you want to listen to me, please welcome to Denmark. And more to that, as Victoria is saying, I have a charity organization that is called Development and Mercy Foundation that deals with helping children, orphans. We have a school for orphans, and we also help widows and single mothers and women as well, to empower them to have a focus in life. There are so many women. I came about opening this organization, or this charity organization, because I have been there and I know how it bites, how difficult it is for women who are widows and children who are orphans.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, the topic that we want to go into today is a working mother and a businesswoman. Generally, everything to do in terms of business, being a woman in business. What are the hardships that you've encountered? How is it? And in your field, in terms of construction and much more, these are male dominated fields. And we also want to go a little bit deeper into your journey here in Denmark and what are the what is it that you're taking from here that you're bringing in, because you mentioned also about bringing us a European standard into the African markets, and much more. So these are the things that we want to dig deeper into in the next 45 minutes. Now, for everybody watching, please do not forget to tune in wherever you are. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and then we'll have this discussion. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to go into the comment section and let us know, what are your questions? What are you eager to know? What is it that you want to ask? But before then, I need to run something, because we cannot take away from the fact that we are on African Women in Europe platform, and they are proudly sponsored, or rather, this show is proudly sponsored by Tap Tap Send. So before we get into the conversation, I'd like you to watch something small. Here we go.
Niajewase. TapTap Send Money Transfer has launched its app in Kenya. Send money to M-Pesa and Kenyan bank accounts. Send money quickly at the best rate, hassle-free. Available in the UK, France, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. Tumaki too.
As the lady rightfully put it, Tuma Kitu. And remittances are the biggest, literally, they contribute a lot in regards to how's it called? The economy back home, and it's very, very important. So if you are in Germany, in Europe, basically, go on ahead, download the Tap Tap app, and then Tumakitu. Now, Susan, I would love to ask you, what made you venture into business in the first place?
When I ventured,
What made you venture? What was the one thing that you decided to say, hey, I need to start my own thing?
okay, Victoria, I have been a businesswoman since I was in Kenya. I lived in Kenya, but when I moved to Denmark, actually that went a little bit slow, or rather, it closed up. As everyone knows, when you move to the European countries or outside our country, there's a lot of things that we have to identify with. We have to to get into, to be able to be upgraded to where we are living, and that one makes us to lose touch with who we were in Africa. But the reason why I love business most is because I have grown with. I got married to a business person, and I grew to see the successfulness and the beauty of business. And as a woman, I tried business and I saw that it was the best thing to do, even though we really want to be employed. I just sat down and I thought, there's a motivation somewhere that I should not be a slave or a servant of someone forever. I came to Denmark. As you know, people come to the West countries. Maybe you love going there, or something has pushed you to go to the Western countries to live there. Some of us is not because we really want to live here, but because situations and circumstances have pushed us here. And so when we come here, I was a person that will not sit back and depend on the country, or depend on what I earn on a daily basis. I went to school. Yes, I learned many things, and my focus was to be in business, and I took education focused on that. But the reason why I really decided I should go into business even while living in Europe, it is because I knew that is the only way you can make a boss of yourself. You can make heads meet. You can make life become what you want. You want to mold it to be. But as an employee, you cannot make life to be what you want it to be. It is difficult sometimes because you are earning a limited salary. And so I did not want to live a limited woman. I want to have my freedom and have to be a woman without limits. And that is what I encourage women to do. Be a woman without limits. Don't put boundaries and limits on yourself. And when you know and you exercise that, then you will know that freedom of finance is very beautiful. It's very sweet. And that is the reason why I really focus on business. And another thing is that there are so many challenges. If we focus on the challenges and negativity and the many reasons that people will come with, most of the men will stand on the way and tell you you're human. Where do you think you can reach? And so many women will wonder, will call you, you are behaving like a man. You are just, they will be like, they're encouraging you in a negative way. You have the strength of a woman, of a man. Yes, I have, let you have the strength of a man and do things that a man can do. That is the only way to break through the limitations in finances. And that is why I do not like to have a limit. And that is why I pursue business as a focus and a way of breaking into limits.
I really love that. I really love the fact that you said you love to be a woman without limits. Now, what are the challenges that you have experienced? I know that there are certain things that I would like to dig deeper into, but before we even go there, what are the challenges that you've experienced throughout your business journey? What are the hardest things that you've experienced that you'd love to share?
Now, I will just take my experience while in Denmark, the business that I'm doing right now, and how it started. I started as a supplier of hospital equipment in African countries, where the challenge was maximum because I was being challenged by men. In Africa, most of the people that really did this business in most countries that I went are men, and so I was at the middle struggling with men to get a contract, and most of the contracts that I did were government contracts. And in these contracts, men have a way of getting away with it. But I never gave up on my pursue for these contracts. And at one point, I realized also the grace of God goes ahead of me, because I realized that everywhere I went, God gave me some great ideas on how to write my proposals and to design my catalogs. And whenever I presented them, they were always on the top. And this is what gave me an advantage. I am one person that when I want to do something, I want to do it at the best. And that is the only secret that I will really review to someone today. When you want to do something, like come venture into business, really target to do it at the best. And that is the only way you can break through the challenges. That is one, the challenges of struggling with men to get contracts. Number two, the fact that the payments in Africa, we all know how African countries behave, the governments there. You have to kutoa kitu kidogo ndio upate what belongs to you. It is your money by the way, but you have to give kitu kidogo. But I just was really so blessed that every country that I went, there was a connection that really made it very easy for me to maneuver. I keep on saying that when God has planned something for you, he makes a way for it. And I realized that there was a way for me in every country that I went. And then when I realized that there was these challenges of payment, we are struggling with the government about payments here and forth, and then it is taking so long, dragging, and then you're supposed to go through through so many processes. I decided, okay, fine. The best thing to do, also before I go there, by looking at the situation now, you're supplying the equipment, and then the hospital conditions in Africa, they were pathetic. Some countries, I think we should be proud in Kenya. We have good hospitals. There are countries in Africa, you go to a hospital, you wonder whether when was it deserted, because it doesn't look, there is nothing that's any sign of a hospital. So I realized that this equipment that I'm selling, in 6 months, they cannot be used. They are not even operational again, because they break down and then they are packed besides. But when I looked at that situation, then I decided, okay, why can't I come up with a hospital in such countries that will be able to service the needs of the people? And that is how I came up with the building hospitals in Africa that are European standard. Another motivation was the COVID-19, where we realized that most hospitals, they lacked oxygen machines. Can you imagine? People are dying because there's no machine. Like, I went to one county and we realized that in our whole county, there was only one private hospital with one oxygen machine that the government hospitals will go and rent so that they can be able to use it. It was really pathetic. And that is why I decided, okay, fine. The best way to serve the people in Africa is to build hospitals and put them in a standard that they can really get assistance.
Now, Susan, one thing that caught my attention was the fact that you mentioned something about that you were married to someone who was very business oriented. And this was one aspect that also motivated you to get into business. Now, just to tang it a little bit, and I know you're also a married counselor, so let's mix it all together. How does one's partner, and I know we're talking with women in business, so let's look at all angles. Now, how does one's partner actually contribute to the upscale or downscale of one's goals and dreams? And you, speaking from experience, you stated that you were motivated. So tell us a little bit about that angle as well.
I always tell women that, it's not good, it's not bad to marry a person that you fall in love with. It is a good thing. But at the same time, no, when women are really getting married, we should be able to be able to assess, is the person that I'm marrying able to build me, to build my dreams, to build my visions? Do they have a vision in the first place? You may have visions, and then maybe you're getting married to someone who is visionless, and then you expect that marriage to grow. It is next to impossible. There is no way you can marry. You have visions, great dreams, you have great ideas, and then you get married to a person that does no vision in their lives. They just know how to wake up and sleep, wake up and move on, wait for the day, maybe wait for the employer to pay their salary. Maybe it is even the least salary they really are getting. I'm not really saying that it is bad to get married to such people, but if you have a big heart that you can be able to cope with such people, then it is okay if you fall in love with them. But my advice is, if you want to pursue your dream or really follow your vision, then it will be the wrong person to marry, because those guys will always stand on your way. One thing that you should know is that when a man realizes that your IQ is really working faster than his, some men will really not want that. They will be jealous about it, not because it is they really want to be jealous, but it is a nature. It is a nature in them, especially African women. So it is always good to know you are in this level. This is what you want in life. This is what you're pursuing in life. It is very important to know, who are you getting hooked with? Is it a person that will really want to build the vision in you? The person who wants to make your dream come true? Or is it a person that will drag you back? There are those who we call them the suckers. They will just suck what is in your brain down. And then you will realize you're just a shell with nothing. Because when you, within maybe 3-5 years, you just look back, it has been sucked. The visions, dreams, and the ideas that you used to have, they have been sucked because that is not their nature. That is not in them. They do not want it that way. So it is very important to know who you're hooking up with, and it is very important to identify a person that has got same dreams with you.
And that's very, very important. I love that aspect, because I can already tell that it also pushed you to a different level where you're thinking in a very different capacity. And I agree with you. When you're selecting a partner, it's very, very important to have visions of which you can be able to support each other on, rather than having someone who has a vision, having someone who doesn't have a vision, meeting together and one is just pulling the other down. So that's a
Yes.
very interesting point of view. Now, for you, also being a mother in Denmark and having businesses on the side, we spoke to Joy, who was also the same. How do you handle these aspects? How do you manage? Because being a mother is a full-time job as well. So, what are your little tricks that make you become a successful entrepreneur and also a successful mother at that?
Thank you, Victoria. One thing that is very difficult in Europe is bringing up children. It's not that it's difficult, but the systems that are set by the governments in Europe, they make it so difficult to bring up children, or in they affect they just they interfere with the parents bringing up of children, and that makes it so difficult sometimes for a parent to be able to do something else besides the bringing up of children. They make it to be a full-time job, like you say, and a parent cannot do something besides bringing up that child. But I am so happy, because when I came here, I had girls who are grown up, who are really grown up. So when I got a baby, I was so happy, because there was help here and there. But it is so challenging to bring up children in Europe. And if you are just not a strong mother, I'm telling you, you break down in the process of bringing up a child in Europe. But one thing, I have been talking to mothers in Europe, in this country, those who have been sharing their experiences and their challenges with the government, their communes. And I have been telling them the best thing to do is to show that you're always strong. Many a times the government will interfere, or rather the communes, or the child department will interfere. Sometimes even it is very important to be able to identify when their approaches is to help you, or when their approaches is a negative one. I would want to tell you, sometimes it is positive, and other times it is negative. If you're not able to know which way they are approaching you with, then you end up messing up, putting yourself in a triangle that you keep on going up and down, because they are pushing you up and down. It is always good to know, as a parent, you gave birth to your child and you can take care of your child. The moment you realize that, then you will be able to bring up a good child. Don't allow yourself to be pushed. You don't know this, you do not know this. Be a woman that knows you can bring up a child. And I want to really challenge women that come, African women who come to Europe, please stop giving up to the pressure that is given to you, because we end up losing our children, destroying our children, or the children get destroyed because we lose touch with them. There's something that happens, that we cannot get control of our children. I'm not saying you control your children in a negative way, but you have to be able to have a touch, a
Being
connection.
hands-on. Yeah, being hands-on.
Yeah, or yeah, let your hands be on your children. Don't lose it, because there's pressure from everywhere. The schools are giving you pressure. the community is giving you pressure, there is pressure from everywhere. Don't succumb to that. Stand up strong for your children, because the more when you succumb to the pressure, then you lose it. And when you lose it, then you lose your children. We are trying to figure out how to really help children, African children that have lost their way, not because they wanted to lose the way. You see, children are really, they have the passion to live and to be good, but there's a lot of pressure also. Pressure that is being put to these children, especially when they reach teenage, and they cannot they get so confused. They do not know who to listen to and where to face. So we are looking to be able to lead it to get in touch with these children and bring them back in the right paths. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Susan. Now, I'm going to quickly go on to the comment section, and then right before we take a quick break, where I'm just going to talk about something lovely. Now, we're just going to start from the beginning, where we have Joy, who says, looking forward to the discussion. Thank you for tuning in. Na natuma salamu pia kutoka Germany. And John says, greetings from Uganda. How can Ugandan women, particularly the rural base, be part of AWE? And I think by going on to, I'm actually doing some little messages on the screen where you can go in, register, and then a particular individual is going to contact you back, or else contact me at Victoria and Katha, or as before, Joy Awe, she'll be able to direct you. I'll be able to direct you. So make sure that you go onto the little messages that I'm sharing here. Please go onto the website, register, and you shall be contacted for your different country from your different country representatives. Now, Joy Amemo Atachoma. Eti, hi, Mama Victoria. Who is that? Hi, Joy. We have Victoria and we have Suzanne. We have Victoria and we have Suzanne. Now, Mweti says about hospitals in Kenya, the standard on paper the standard on paperwork differs the situation on ground. Level 5 at ground is level 2. Now, what would you like to say to that, Suzanne?
I'm waiting. I really understand what Mweli is saying. I know when it is called level 5, what we get is something else. It's really painful, and it's really pathetic how governments will really play cards with their people. And this is really making my heart to pain a lot, because when we look at the health standards where we are, and then we come back to our countries and see what is called level 5 and what is called level 1 in a country like Denmark, then there is no comparison, as Mweti is saying. I really hope we can have leaders who are not really messing up with the tossing around the minds of their people, and really give services according to the way they are supposed to do. The greatest problem and challenge that we are having in Africa is leadership problem. Yeah. I want to tell someone here today that Africa is the mother of resources. Everything that really you see beautifying Europe, beautifying USA, it's all, the root is in Africa. And I want to tell you that if African leaders could really stop their baby mentality and really style up a little bit, stop being used by the Western countries to keep on doing silly things, I would really think there could be something that is powerful that is in Africa. For example, let me just give an example of the telephone, the mobile telephones we are using everywhere in the whole world, all the mobile telephones we are using. Do you know that very essential material, raw material that is really making these mobile phones to work is comes from Africa. But do Africans themselves know that? They're the suppliers of the key suppliers of what makes the mobile phones. And we are there, we ourselves don't know. But every time the resources and the key resources that are used in the world are swindled from Africa, and our leaders are just closing one eye, opening a little of the other eye, just pretending they do not know. But I want to tell you that we have what it takes to make Africa great. For hospitals to be what they are in Europe or in the US, it is because the resources and the money, most of the money that is used here, it is from Africa. We need to have leaders who should style up. I really am to leaders in Africa, and I'll bang their heads until they style up. I'm very sorry. You will forgive me, but we are dragging behind because of the kind of leadership we are having. May God help Africa on leadership. Guys, keep praying for your countries and for your leaders so that God will give you better leaders. We are having makeshift of leaders. I'm sorry to say.
And I think that's one of the things that has been a huge discussion. Also because the generation that we're having is really uh, active in standing up for what we believe is right and what we know is right, and we're educating ourselves. One of the things that has been there in Africa is a lack of access, or rather generally not only in Africa, but lack of access towards knowledge. And now we have a generation that has resources in terms of the internet. We are really edifying ourselves in terms of learning about our history, studying all these things, where we're getting to see that the exploitation of the African resources is at a very, very high level. I mean, we have people who are creating companies that are coming from abroad that are creating mobile phones, cars, whatnot, while those raw materials are within our reach. Yet we do not have phones that specifically come from Africa. It's all owned from outside, and we're making the richer rich, right? So this is one of the aspects, one of the very, very important aspects to also think about. Now, going on, we have somebody who's tuning in, a very good friend. Thank you, Judge, for tuning in. Says good discussion, Vicky. Thank you very much. And Joy goes on to say, so true, we need to guide our children when it comes to peer pressure. Very, very much. And especially in this popcorn generation, there's so much that we're seeing, because even though we're talking about the internet being a good thing, it is also a bad thing on another on the other end of the spectrum. And we need our parents to be able to guide us through these things. Susan, do you have anything to add on that comment?
Yes, actually, thank you, Joy, for bringing that again. The peer pressure, as I said before, there is peer pressure that is really destroying children, teenage in particular. And I want to appeal to parents to be able to, as I said, put your focus on your children. Many a times you have parents in these European countries that I've seen, that we come here, maybe some of us are married to white people, and then we adopt the Western style. We want to please the man because they have their own way of doing things and of loving, and they do not care anybody else besides them. So when we parent like African parent, you come with a child maybe from Africa, or you get your children, and then the white person just wants you and you alone. They just want, they don't care. Children, they don't matter. They don't behave like Africans. Africans, they take along their children. We don't drop our children anywhere. And a man in Africa understands that children are very important. They value their children. But in these countries, children are just because the systems have put it that way. So when you get married to a white person, please let them know the importance of your children in your life. Stop enjoying life. You want to please a man. I'm sorry, because that is where I burst so much. You want to do everything the man is doing, tell you that you should leave your children. Maybe they should go. Stop it. Tell them you take us as a package. Yeah. When you marry me, you are marrying us as a package, and so they should be able to take care of your children. We realize that even some men, the same men that are married to African women, they end up, when you come from Africa with your own African children from another marriage, those same men, the moment that child is, if it's a girl and they are turning to teenage, they are the ones who will just start spoiling them. They want to take them to bed, and that is not. It's not a big issue to them, because culture here goes to the east. It doesn't go to the west like in Africa. So we are two different. We go two different paths. So be careful. As much as you want a white man, yeah, for a husband, or as much as you want to live the westernized life, please, parents, mothers, let us really protect our teenagers. Another thing, as Joy is saying, peer pressure. When you allow your children to be driven by friends and the people out there, then you won't be able to control them. You won't be able to bring them when they go too far away. Please mind who comes around your children. I don't say it because I have not done it. I did it and it worked. So it can work for you. Don't be confused by the systems here that you let children free. You know, they are grown up. You got to let them free. Free to where? To what limit are you freeing your children? Please mind who comes around your children and who are the friends. I'm not saying you really control so much, you become so tough, but make sure the children that are around your children, they are of moral character. Thank you. And guide your children on choosing the right friends. Thank you.
Susan wants to get us into trouble. What?
Mhm.
Oh, Lord. Now, Wetty goes on and says, "I'm in Qatar, and with what you ladies have started by giving back to the community is awesome. Keep up enlightening netizens. Thank you very much. We shall keep it up." Now, Joy says, "We are the ones electing leaders. How can we educate our people to choose the right leaders?" Go on ahead, Susan. And wait, before you even go ahead, please, please, please remember corruption. Corruption. So now go ahead.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Joy. I think I'm enjoying this now. Now, when you put me on politics, please, you stop it, guys, because I will really be fired from Kenya or from other countries. Now, look here. We have, as Victoria is saying, corruption has really sunk deep to the roots of elections in Africa. And that is a key problem that we are having, that we cannot be able to elect the right leaders. But I think there are campaigns, and I don't know whether Joy Kenya has started these campaigns, but there are some countries that have started campaigns on how to educate their youths not to be corrupt when it comes to elections. It will take time because the corruption is rooted deep. It will take time to unroot them, but it will bear fruits. It will take a little time, but with patience, it will work. Also, we are looking. People are forming diaspora. The people living in the diaspora, they are forming groups or organizations in their countries to be able to come in from the diaspora level, to be able to bring these to bring these campaigns to the grassroots, that they shall be able to come with to educate the locals how to get away with corruption and how to be able to elect the best the right leaders for the country. Some countries we are trying. When we look at Rwanda came from nowhere to somewhere. Rwanda was completely, when I remember the genocide time, it was completely grounded to zero, to nothing. But with the right leader, Rwanda has risen to be a leading country, developing country in Africa. Why is it not possible for other countries to be able to go there? Rwanda has the least resources, but with brains, they have been able to rise. We have countries that have got wonderful resources. Look at Congo. Congo is just, we can't talk about it. Where is Congo? Congo is completely distracted, completely destroyed, and they have the best resources. What is happening there? Leadership that is, we have leadership corruption in levels. We have leadership corruption from Western countries. That is one thing, Joy, that we should really focus on. The corruption from other countries, from Western countries, it is on the level of the top leadership where they are connected, they are corrupt because they give in something. They are just corrupt because they are connected to those countries. And this one is a corruption, or it is a way, it is a monster that is really killing most of the countries. And one thing that I keep saying is that when we elect leaders that are greedy, and they tend to sell our countries. Sometimes they do not know they are selling our people or their countries to the Western countries, because they do not even know, because these countries come in with an exchange. They come in to ask, to bring something, like they are giving a donation of billions or millions, but they come in with a proposal when they have identified a resourceful area in that country, which they want to take in return. And at the end of the day, what happens is that these countries, like let's say today, if Denmark goes to Kenya, they are giving a donation of maybe 10 billion or 100 billion. They will not give it for free. This is one thing I've kept telling African leaders. There is nothing that is coming for free. There is always an exchange. That country will look at a company in that country, maybe in Kenya, or they will look at something resourceful in Kenya, and then they will come with a proposal. Well, can we have this and work there, develop it? May we let us do this? Even the Asians are doing that. We want to help you develop this, and then we make a contract of 100 years. We will be getting whatever from there, but we will give you employment. When our leaders hear this, because they have shallow minds, then they exchange it so easily. But later we come to realize the mess we have done. These countries will make, they have already done their survey, and they have realized that they will make billions and trillions of money from that resource. And then what happens is that we end up losing more than what the little bit that we get back. I would appeal to our leaders to be very careful and sensitive to what treaties they are signing, because we are selling our people, we are selling our land to the Western countries, and we are selling bits by bits. Imagine making a treaty for 100 years. Surely, will you be there? Surely, are you living that long, or you are really putting the generations to come into debts and problems? Don't take me to politics. I'll get so annoyed. Number two, our young people, because of lack of employment, then we realize that they are selling their votes for 1 meal or maybe a week's meal. That is what we are trying to see, how we can educate these young people, the local people, because of what they are going through, the suffering they are going through. They end up selling their votes. And that is where the politicians want to put them. One thing is that you will know that the politicians will not develop their local their constituencies, they will not develop the locals, because they will keep them in that poverty, so that they can sustain, they can remain in power.
Oh,
Because
exactly.
yeah, they will remain in power, because if they develop their local communities, then who will vote for them next time? So they
Exactly.
will keep you in poverty, so that they will be coming with that little they have stolen. And then by the time during the election time period, then they will come with the same money that could have developed the communities. And that is the money they used to give you, buying rice, buying some small things here. Your own money is the same money that you will sell your vote with. It is very important people know what they are really doing. Vote because the person is good. Don't vote because of what you got from a leader. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's getting heated, guys. It's getting heated. But I love what you said. Nothing's for free. And at the end of the day, vote because you know what you're doing is right and what you want to do is right. If we take and move with one voice, and just as I'm seeing another comment say here, because it's the same mindset, breaking the silence, speak out, stand for what is right is the strongest weapon. One voice, one goal. When we speak and have one voice, it's powerful. The
Oh,
moment we leak fear, it is the moment we show weakness, and that is how the we shall try to overcome, or they shall try to overcome. I think that's what he meant. Now, that is very, very important, and it goes in with the whole aspect of you have leaders who will try and buy a vote here and there. You have leaders who will try and bribe you to voting for them simply because they want to keep you in that poverty level. They want to keep you down there, and they want to keep you controlled. That is because we are not moving with one voice. So that's also a very important aspect to realize. Now, Moiti goes in and says, and thank you so much for everybody who's interacting with us. Moiti goes in and says, corruption starts from the kitchen with siblings. In Kenya, campaign is all about the handouts, and like we just had, as it is now in Kiamba. Jubilee is giving out handouts. On the other hand, UDA has a policy which I believe with money at current situation, money tempts on GCO during voting, and that is very true. But then at the end of the day, it's because there has not been that level of growth and creating that level of employment. There has not been any Mandeleo that has gone on, which now takes us back to that level of now we have to wait for these handouts so that we can be able to now survive for the next couple of days, couple of weeks, so that we can be able to vote in that aspect, because every man for himself basically. So I think that's where that conversation is going is very, very important to remember, even as we are also approaching elections in the different African countries. Actually, we need to remember that. Now, Paul Mondongogi says, a great discussion, Victoria. Nothing's for free. Nothing is for free in this world. Please don't ever lie to yourself that anything is for free. Nothing is for free. You need to do what you need to do and make sure that it's right. And again, going back to the whole aspect of one voice, it is very, very important for us to make a stand and say that we are standing for what is right. And I think that's where we have a huge problem, because of the things that have been there. And you see, it just as Mweti said, corruption starts from the kitchen with siblings, because it started from somewhere and it was brought in and it became a culture. Now, if we stop it from being a culture, then we can stop it from being the way of life, basically. Anne Kanana Mudenja says, this is, oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, please.
I wanted to add on that, Victoria. I want people to know that you will really sell your vote for just a meal, or maybe 1 month. You'll eat for 1 month. But remember, you will have like 5 years of suffering. So which one is better for you to really rescue the 5 years and get development, or just get fed for just a month that the campaigns are going on? People should really style up. Stop it. Stop this one of doing, not using the head sometimes. Let us vote. Let us go hungry 1 month and eat the rest of 5 years. Thank you.
I love that. I really love that. Eat for 5 years, stop eating for 1 month.
Yeah.
Now, now Anne goes says Anne goes on and says, "This is awesome. Let me hope most of our people are listening to this. Vote wisely. Don't sell your vote. Don't sell your votes. Do not. You need to eat for 5 years." And you see, this is a discussion that actually goes on a lot on social media. When people, especially in the Kenyan community, complaining about how CG there have been things that have gone wrong. People said you voted 3 times, not once, not twice. You voted 3 times, 3 times, and here you
You
are
ate only
complaining
3 months or 3 weeks.
3 times.
And then for 8 years, you're dying, man. You're dying. Die.
You voted 3 times. So I think this is a very great conclusion to the discussion. Now, with just a few minutes going on, I would love to ask you, Susan, what is the greatest aspect of business that you've come to encounter? We talked about the challenges. Now, when we discuss the upside of it, what are the beauties of business and you being in business? What are the most amazing moments where you've come home and you've said, "I really love what I'm doing"?
Thank you, Victoria. One thing that we should know that despite the challenges, there is sweetness in business. And the sweetness in business is like, I'm building a hospital that is really coming up. That let me start there. That is really coming up every day. I get pictures of how far it has gone. Do you know how I sleep like a baby because I'm feeling at least something, something good is happening. And then you come also, you realize like the business that I've been doing. Okay, the payday is very sweet. You struggle for so long. Maybe you take like 3 5 months. You're really struggling with the business, writing, especially writing proposals. You don't sleep. You spend sleepless nights, but you know what, the payday is very good. Like when you deliver the contracts, everything is done, and then you receive that check of yours, my dear, you just feel like, wow, it has really, it's like a mother gets pregnant for 9 months. You struggle, you feel pain, you can't sleep, there is no style you can sleep. But the day that you deliver that baby, you look at that baby, oh, all the pains, you don't remember them again. That is the goodness of business. And let me tell you another thing. If you're bright enough and sharp enough, you use that money very well, then whatever the investment that you do with your money, it gives you a better an encouragement to even do it more. I want to challenge someone that is out there. If you're listening to me, don't sit down. Don't sit down and be comfortable in your current status. If you're not started doing something right now, go and think, lay down a plan. Just think of an idea. What can I do besides being employed, besides that beautiful job of yours? What can you do? Because an employer can rise up, can wake up in a day and say, you see, you're no longer needed in this company. So where will you turn to? Come on, rise up, do something, think. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't take so much to start a business. Most of the people so think, I want to make 1 million or so that I can be able to start a business. No, get out of that. And you will never make enough to start a business. Whatever you have, start a business. If you have savings of 20,000, think of a small beginning. Stop. We have like people who think, we call them, who think big. There are people who started thinking business, who are business minded. They started thinking of starting business when they were 20 years. They are now 55 years, 60 years. They have never started that one business. Do you know why? Because you cannot build you cannot start climbing a tree from top. You want to start from the top of a tree. No, you have to start from down. Start from a small one. That big business that you have in mind, then let it grow from a small beginning. Then you will realize that you reach there one day. But if you want to start there, you will never start. So please start somewhere. Don't wait until you have millions to start a business. Start with the 10,000 that you have, go up, and it will make 10 million, and you'll be surprised. So do something. Again, I'm appealing to people living in diaspora. Apart from sending money to Africa, my dear friends, do something in Africa, and it will be more effective. We shall be able to lift Africa to another level. Think about doing something, investing in something tangible, something you can look back into. Let us not only think of building a house for ourselves and sending money to Africa, and think about starting something small. Things can turn around. Europe can turn, things turn around sometimes. Even this beautiful Europe, things can turn around. Please secure your future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, I love how Joy is plugging herself in. She said, "This is the feeling of Awe Sako. We need you on board." Susan, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Joy.
Investing
I'll be on it.
collectively. Investing collectively. Yes, she's here already. Now, I sadly have to cut us short. This has been a very, very interesting conversation, and I've really, really enjoyed it. We have touched on very many topics. We've touched on business, we've touched on politics, we've touched on ISACO. Now, the beauty of this is that I want to share with you something. Oh, just a moment. There's something that is written in the comments. I cannot ignore the comment section. This is where we are interacting. Listening is one thing, putting to action is another thing. In Tanzania, political parties have policy that they put to action, but in Kenya, when leaders get to office, they forget about Wanjiko and pocket Wanjiko's development, since they know should the executive start following up, they will follow every word head of state says. And who faces the wrath? The leaders who have better ideas to help Wanjiko. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, if we can be able to change it from all levels, that is exactly what we're trying to do. And it's a step at a time. Change does not come overnight. And I think we also need to work a lot on that aspect. So, with that said, just quickly, I'm just going to go into something that is our related, where African women had their general, what's it called? Oh Lord. They had their board meeting. Awe Diaspora Sako had their board meeting, and would love to congratulate the 9 confirmed Awe Diaspora Sako board committee, where they had their first annual general meeting on the 13th of June, and had 9 Diaspora Sako board members elected. So congratulations to that. Now, with that said, everybody who has been here, please do not hesitate to go on at African Women in Europe on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere, and follow us so that you'll be able to follow through all the projects that are there. African Women in Europe is not only for African, is not only limited to women. It is also for the youth. As you can see, I am here, and also men who are really contributing towards the growth of the diaspora community. So we have our diaspora, our Sako, we have African Women in Trade, which is our trade. We have African Women in Europe, the whole organization, where we do events, and we also celebrate women and men and youth doing great things, such as the Awe Talk Show, which just launched. So also follow me, Victoria Katha, if you want to follow us on all updates, matters regarding Awe Talks and Awe Youth as well. So bring your people, tell a friend to tell a friend. And also for Susan Mutai, she's on all social media platforms. This mama is very hip. She's even on Instagram. So follow her even on Instagram.
May I say one thing before you close? I want to talk about those who are watching and they know our very well. Maybe you don't know how very well, but I am so excited about the circle. Joy, what you're doing is wonderful. The circle is wonderful. Those people who are in Europe, those people who are living in these Western countries, and really you're asking, how will I make ends meet to be able to invest in Africa? It has been brought to us. Come on, guys, let us just make use of this circle, because we have to start somewhere. As I said, we have to start somewhere. And you know what? Make Africa great. Make your life, your future. Really think about your future. Don't think about only where you are. Make use of this circle. Actually, Joy, thank you, because I think these topics were intertwined there. Circle and what we are talking about. Let nobody give an excuse out there like, where will I get money from? Now you have a circle beside you that very near home. Just make a call, and then you will really have somewhere to begin. And you know what? You will not regret it, because you'll be able to really do something great, and then you will pay slowly. Come on, just do something. Invest in Africa for future benefits. Thank you. Vicky, unmute. Vicky, I can't hear you. Your sound is gone. Vicky, I've lost you. Come on. I'm not hearing you, Victoria.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now you're
Okay, great. Oh, that was that. I don't know what happened there, but here we go again. Now, I don't know where I dropped off from, but here we go. Let's try this again. Now, as I was saying, please tune in to us every Sunday. Every Sunday, we are here from 8:30 p.m. Central European Time, which is 9:30 p.m. East African Time, and we run the show for an hour. So if you have any ideas of anybody who's doing extravagant, extraordinary things, or anything that is helping the community, or gives back, or business related, or study related, please bring them on board so that we have a great conversation together with them and we are able to grow together. As we say in African Women in Europe, together we are stronger. And indeed, as we also say in Responding to Life, we rise by lifting each other. I am your host, Victoria Nkatha, and today we were joined by Susan Mutai, and I would love to bid you farewell. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Have a beautiful day, have a beautiful evening, and happy new week. May you go in power. May you have a favored week. May you go in grace, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.